Boston Women's Chorus will present a free concert March 7th at the Church of the Covenant in the Back Bay. Organized in 2018, the chorus originally provided a voice for performers who've experienced homelessness, as well as works by female composers. And the ensemble taps the healing power of music to provide community. To tell us about the performance celebrating International Women's Day are the group's senior advisor, Margaret Braccio, and the music director, Ismael Sandoval. Thank you both for being with us.
Thank you for having us.
I'll start with Ismael. Talk about the original idea for this kind of chorus. There's nothing else like it that I know of in Boston. So what was the purpose?
Yeah, this chorus came from a concert that we did with Eureka Ensemble, of which I'm the assistant conductor. It was called Sheltering Voices, and it was an amazing effort where we commissioned a piece by a female composer, our composer in residence at the time, Stephanie Ann Boyd, who wrote a piece using, she partnered with a poet who specifically went around Boston taking in the experiences of women who were dealing with, homelessness or severe poverty or any kind of abuse or trauma, or and were recovering from that. And they wrote a beautiful piece of music that was for chorus and for women's chorus specifically and orchestra. And so we went out into the community and recruited people from the homeless community to come be a part of this amazing experience. And so for about 2 months, we taught them this music, and the result was so incredible that someone in the audience said, "This has to happen." And that was our one of our co-founders, David McHugh. He basically said, "This experience needs to happen for the rest of eternity, if possible." And so he was the impetus for the forming of the group. And it's really amazing. We meet once a week. We work with women at Women's Lunch Place who are, again, dealing with some form of homelessness or severe poverty to whatever extent. And we work with them to use music as a form of therapy, as a form of finding their own voice, as a form of establishing community and sense of belonging. So it's really amazing in that sense.
Margaret, I imagine many of the women who've been through homelessness have also been traumatized in some way. How does music help them deal with that?
Music is it's a leveling ground because we all walk in as humans. We're not homeless, we're not poverty, we're just there to sing. And the music provides this cultural home for them where they can feel safe. They can provide music. There's no audition required. There's no prior experience. There's no requirement to come every week. You just show up. And the beauty of singing together has this curative power that the women just love and we love. Yeah.
We've seen it directly in a lot of women that we work with. From day one, they'll come in very shielded and guarded and a little bit aggressive. And if there's any kind of negative interaction with another person, they'll kind of act in that defensive way that they're probably used to interacting in the rest of their lives. But over time, we've broken down those barriers, and as a result, we've cultivated a lot of really amazing bonds amongst us and the women, and then amongst themselves. They've formed friendships that I think they probably would have never found were it not for this group, for this organization.
Yeah, well, what happens to them over time when they're engaged in this organization?
Like Ismael said, the barriers come down. And to sing this music, it's a team. It's not you're on your own. You have to come together. And so the women start, collaborating, building friendships. Ismael often says things like, instead of just singing, I want you to sing to someone. Look at somebody in the eye and sing to them. And these women, where they haven't been able to trust people in the past, now they're in an environment where they can trust the people that they are with. And it's really, really powerful.
What made you think of that, Ismael, singing to someone?
As a performer and as an artist, we face this issue all the time where we spend hours and hours and hours in a tiny practice room, practicing the one piece that we're going to do for a recital.
And you're looking at the music.
You're looking at the music the whole time. It's even worse if you're an instrumentalist who doesn't have voice or text, right? But anyone that performs anything, really, it's not about you, and it's not about you being in the room. It's about expressing the art to someone else and to making a connection with someone else. And so that is a principal force that drives the women's chorus is performing and trying to connect with the people that are around you, not only in the ensemble but also the audience members. Whenever we have a concert, one of the first things we do is we break the fourth wall, and then all of a sudden we incorporate the audience into the meetup, we call them. And as a result, we get a really amazing experiences where everyone feels open. No one feels nervous. It's not It's not a scary experience. It's a really fulfilling experience for them.
Just go ahead, Margaret.
And to get the women to open up a little bit, we do an exercise every week where we ask people if they want to share a rose and a thorn, which is something that's really good that's happening to them and something that's not so good. And over time, as people build trust, what people have shared with us it's amazing. It's humbling to be there every week. Yeah.
This is BNN News, and we're talking with Margaret Braccio and Ismael Sandoval from the Boston Women's Chorus. Ismael, what about the kind of music you have planned for the event coming up here? Because this isn't just thrusting this music upon people and making them do it. I mean, they're bringing something from their own life to this too, I imagine.
Yeah, the whole day is equal parts music and community building. And I would say actually the community building is really the forefront of it. What it is we're going to get around 100 women together. Again, we're celebrating International Women's Day on March 7th. And we're going to get together in the morning. We're going to do some music making, community building, really get to know each other, hear about the experiences and the stories of some very inspiring women throughout the day, and really learn from each other, grow as a group, and hopefully cultivate some very powerful bonds. And we're doing that principally through music. And so we're choosing great music that probably people already know. It's not going to take a lot of experience. As a matter of fact, we're encouraging everyone to come and sing with us, regardless of if you've ever sung a note in your life or if you've only sung in the shower. That's totally fine. It's all about the experience and the community building that we're gonna do. And so we're gonna not only are we gonna have these songs that people might already know, like Somewhere Over the Rainbow, things like that, but also we have a song that's specifically being written for that day. That's gonna be easy to learn, really impactful. We already got a preview of it, and that's through one of our partnerships with Next Step Boston, and that's a woman named Kimberly Kerr who does an amazing job as a music therapist in town. And so she's working with us to create a really amazing song and experience for that day.
What about the preview of that song, Margaret? Did you happen to see that?
I did. I experienced it. And what Kimberly does is the week before, we gathered input from the women about how they feel about the women's chorus, how they feel in general. And we took all those Post-its and gave it to Kimberly. And from that, she started to create a song. And as she presented the song back to the women, she asked for their reaction so she could massage the words and the music as we went along. And it's very interesting process. It's a very powerful song. Yeah.
So what you've got lined up for Sunday is that any woman who wants to sing, even if she hasn't had any contact with your group before, she can just show up and get in on it. Is that
That's
how
right.
it's as simple as that?
Well, we're just asking that people RSVP online, and they can go to womenschorus.org to register, because there is a limit that we have. Obviously, the space is a certain size, so we can only go to a certain number. Otherwise, in a perfect world, in an ideal world, we'd have everyone come and sing with us.
Right.
Chris, Margaret, now what about the Meetup Dynamic? Does that continue after this concert on the 7th of March?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. We've kind of got a rhythm that we meet every Friday from 9:30 to 11:30 at the Women's Lunch Place at the Church of the Covenant, which is above the Women's Lunch Place. And we run from September to May, and we will continue doing that. Yeah.
And Ismael, one more time, we should remind people if they want to find out more, there's some place they can check that out?
Yeah, they can go to womenschorus.org, and there's information about how to volunteer for the day and be a singer, about the concert itself, which is at 1:30 on March 7th at Church of the Covenant, or just about more information on the Women's Chorus in general.
Thank you both very much.
Thank you.
For having us.
Ismael Sandoval and Margaret Braccio from Boston Women's Chorus.